Hi, I'm Marty Nemko. Every conscientious parent is always, when it gets to back to school time, reading some article on back to school tips, and there's lots of standard tips. But I thought I would offer some non-standard ones, not to be different, but because I deeply believe those are under-considered. First of all, and it's shocking to many parents, whatever difference you can make in helping ensure your kid has the best school year yet is going to be relatively small in its impact. The unvarnished truth is that we are all largely a function of our genes, perhaps most important, our early environment, our peers, that is, fellow kids, and parenting. School fits somewhere near the bottom of that. Any difference you're going to make, even the most important things, which is choosing the right school, choosing the right teachers, making sure your kids have the right friends, which are significant, are less important than you may think, and therefore that should give you reason to relax a bit. Your kid will survive even a bad teacher, or even a school with bad kids. I'm not saying you should settle for that, but not get quite as upset as many parents do, let alone about whether your kid does his homework, or your kid's the work is a little too hard or too easy. Sure, supplement with after-school activities that are well-suited to your kid's natural strengths. Build on strengths primarily. Yeah, get a tutor if your kid is likely either needing supplementation because he or she is too bright or is having trouble with something important like reading. But it ain't that important. And I speak as somebody with a PhD in the evaluation of education from Berkeley who's had countless clients. I know you probably won't believe me, but it's true. But now turning to what is at least most important, which is what the right school is. Some schools emphasize low achievers and have lots of kids who are, let's say, poor role models. Yes, you should do what you can on a one-time basis, so it's not this ongoing thing like volunteering to bake for the bake sales at the PTA, to get your kid in a school where the general tenor is one that is compatible with your child. If your child is bright, it's a school that should focus on the needs of bright kids. If your kid is well behaved and has standard, what you call middle class, non-violent, non-impulsive behaviors, you want your kid in that school. And that can be within the public schools. Very often there are choices. There are charter schools. There are interdistrict transfers, that is between districts, and more easily within a district. Yes, make the one-time effort. If you get the sense that, that maybe your child should change schools, yes, that may be worth the one-time effort. Second most important is teacher, indeed. If after the first few days you get the sense that the teacher is ill-suited to your child, too punitive, too easy, too just whatever, you get a sense your kid is very unhappy, it may be time for a tactful conversation with the teacher and or the principal to say, I'm not sure it's a good fit. I'm wondering if we might affect the transfer. Beyond that, very little is important except maybe friends. Do what you can to facilitate good friendships because that may matter as much or more than school. Encourage your kid to say, who's a nice kid who you like? Encourage your child to talk with that child. Perhaps invite that child to come over after school to do homework or to play or to have your home-baked cookies or whatever. Even if it's with if you're working and if it's a child care person. Do what you can and eventually encourage more going on day trips with you and your family. If it's a good kid, a good role model. Kindness is important. Intelligence is important. Good work ethic is important. All of that. And then just all I want to say more is about homework. Parents pull their hairs out. Kids pull their hair out about homework. Again, it is rarely going to be that critical. Yes, we want your kid to develop good work habits. Yes, it's probably important to do much, if not all, homework. But I would treat that as a topic for discussion. What you and your child should sit down and your child, why do I need to do that? I only work enough in school. Who needs homework? I don't like it. Have a respectful discussion. Why might your child want to do the homework or not? Is it just for the grade? Is there important learning there to accrue? Is the discipline worth it? Should there be some kind of a compromise? Should kids have some discretion? Should they be willing to pay the price of a lower grade if they don't do the homework or do a slipshod job? I would make that something that was negotiable. Also, it's helpful, to the extent that the kids will do homework, to negotiate a routine. Some kids want to get it over with and do it as soon as they get home. Others might want to go out and play. They've been sitting on their ass in the chair too long in school, and they want to do it either right before dinner, which is normally best because then the dinner is a reward, or right after dinner, or before TV, before video games, or whatever. But make that a negotiable item. And that is all I want to say about what I'm calling non-standard back-to-school tips. One, any difference you're going to make isn't that important. Two, to the extent that something is important, make the one-time effort to get your kid in a school that you're feeling good about academically and importantly socially. If you're getting a sense that the kid is in your class, maybe even just from the scuttlebutt, you hear that a particular teacher in the third grade, and your kid's in the third grade, is very punitive or very focused on low achievers, and your kid is a bright kid, you may want to tactfully meet with the principal to ask for a transfer. Don't say because this teacher is bad. Say because I think the child would be a better fit. You may get a yes, you may get a no. Not that critical, but try. As I said, one thing I didn't mention. It's normally important for each of us, whether it's a child or ourselves, to have a goal. What's one thing your child should focus on to make this school year better? Whether it's focusing on raising his hand more. Is it on being more organized with his notebook or whatever? Is it to try to be a bit better behaved, whatever, to make a good friend? Focus on one thing that your child might want to do differently, or accentuate a strength. Your kid is great at sports, or your kid is great at reading, or your kid is great at mentoring other kids. See if you can encourage your child to build on that strength. And then finally, as I said, penultimately, do what you can to encourage a good friendship, good friendships. And finally, instead of insisting on homework, having a collaborative discussion about the wisdom or lack thereof about doing homework, including some homework just is not worth doing, especially for a given kid. Make that an intellectually rich discussion item. It's a chance for growth, as well as perhaps to preempt having fights every night about homework. In any case, those are my best thoughts on not standard back-to-school tips. As usual, I thank you for watching. I welcome your thumbs up and accept your thumbs down. I always look forward to your comments, and especially like it if you hit the share button below. Share on your social media so that my efforts can have broader impact. And I am flattered if you choose to subscribe to my channel, and certainly would welcome you taking a look at any of my 34 books. Probably the book that's most relevant is How to Get Your Child a Private School Education in a Public School, but all 34 are on Amazon. Just go there, search out my name, Marty Nemko, Nemko, and you will find more than you can stomach. In any event, I do thank you for watching. I am Marty Nemko.